Hello, everyone. Today I have a message for you, and I've been contemplating on bringing this message to you for a while. Um, I want to talk about a time when I heard, um, that we were God, that we were God, source. And I didn't know exactly what that meant before I was awakened. And at that time, I put a lot of thought into it, and I was like, man, if I was actually God, it would have been so hard to come to this earth and not be corrupted. And I want you to think about that for a little bit because it's so important that we're able to forgive ourselves, for what we didn't know before we awakened. And that might make it a little easier on you to forgive yourself because honestly, we can all say, that when we look back on our lives and our childhood, a lot of things happen that were out of our control. And things certainly don't go, the way we expect because I had high expectations of myself. I wanted certain things out of life. And, things happen. And things happen to us that we can't control. And so, think about that concept for a little bit. And also, I heard that God has a sense of humor. Well, we are all divine aspects of God. We are all fractals of source energy. God put a seed inside of us, He lives within us. Um, and God wanted to come here and experience, this life and certain things in this life. And we also, planned with our soul family and our spirit team and spirit guides um, exactly what we wanted to experience to grow in this lifetime for our soul growth and evolution. And so it makes life a little bit easier when we acknowledge those things and think about those things. But one thing I found was really interesting that kind of expands on that point I was trying to make about if I was God, um, geez, it would be so hard to come into this world and not be corrupted. And I recently heard a psychic talking about the lost years of Jesus. And I've often wondered that, what happened from the age of 12 to the age of, I don't know, 30 or 33, something like that. Um, those years weren't mentioned in the Bible. And the psychic I was listening to said that Jesus, went on his journey, his spiritual journey, just like many of us. And he really had to learn what it was like to be human so that he could relate to people on a human level from a human aspect. And so I found that very interesting. And um, he often spent a lot of time alone, and would go into the wilderness to spend time alone away from people. Um, and that he felt very different from people and, didn't fit in, felt very alone, a lot of loneliness, like hermit mode. And so it's interesting to think about that he went through his own experiences just as we would, the betrayals and the hurt and different life experiences in order to learn, grow, and expand just like we do. So I thought I would share that with you. I thought it was interesting. And I don't know about you, but I'm curious if you want to let me know in the comments. When I was growing up, I grew up in a very chaotic environment. And we're born conscious, and we're conscious for the first 7 years of our lives, and we're born into unconscious families and family dynamics. We're born into families where our parents aren't conscious, but we are. And so how crazy is that? A child being born conscious into unconscious family members. And I don't know about you, but for me, I used to look around and think, who in the hell are these people? And so that reminds me of what I said about God having a sense of humor and God wanting to come here and experience life in different ways and expand consciousness and learn lessons, as well through us. And so, I feel like, and I don't know about you, I'd like to know, but I feel like I remained conscious a lot of my life because I had a lot of trauma growing up. And so I believe that I had a higher consciousness. A lot of the time, I felt like I was in 5D Christ consciousness because I went to Christian school and I was very close to Jesus growing up. He was my only friend that I could truly rely on. And I felt like he was always there holding my hand and guiding me. And so I'm curious if you kind of felt the same way, where you looked around at all the chaos in your life and in your family and thought, who in the hell are these people and how did I get here? And I also feel like, part of it is because I'm an earth angel. And so I think as earth angels, we retain a higher level of consciousness to enlighten others around us. And so, feel free to reach out and share your experiences with me in the comments if you don't mind, and if you'd like to, because I am trying to establish a spiritual community here. So I'm very interested in hearing from you. And so I'm going to start with your spiritual gift activations. And the first card I drew is the Temple of Truth, throat chakra activation, authenticity, and self-expression. So your throat chakra is being activated right now. You are being asked by Spirit to step into your authenticity and use your self-expression. Open up your spiritual gifts, activate that throat chakra, and radiate your authenticity and use your self-expression to, help and serve humanity. And then I have the central sun that came out, and you are receiving abundance downloads, regeneration, and you are guaranteed success on your path. So do not be afraid. And oh my goodness, it seems like 2 of these came out yesterday. Hather light codes or this week. Light immersion, full system upgrade, and power recall. So recall all of your power back to you. And let's just see if any others want to come out as well. Star being healing codes, important information, wounds are healed and recharging. So you are receiving important information in those abundance downloads, and your wounds are being healed, and you are in a period of recharging. And let's take a look and see what the oracle messages are for today. And it also helps us to be able to forgive others when we recognize that we chose this path and these specific lessons before coming to the earth. And, we wanted to evolve, grow, and learn. And so that's why we have experienced a lot of the experiences we've had, is because before we came here on this journey, we sat with our soul family members and spirit guides, and we chose the exact lessons that we wanted to learn and how we wanted to evolve, learn, and grow in this process. And so Spirit is asking you first off to take initiative, and that would be, take initiative on radiating your authenticity and using your self-expression to speak your truth. And when you do that, you will discover that there is prosperity waiting for you on the other side of that. So let go of your fears, let go and let God is what I'm hearing. And you will also set yourself free and experience freedom. Another way to set yourself free, I just heard, is through forgiveness. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but someone out there needs to hear this message. And so, it's also important to forgive ourselves. Like I said, if we were God, we would easily, and we are a fractal of God, source energy. We come here to forget who we are so that we can remember. And it's really easy to get corrupted in this world. That's what this world is all about. And until we awaken and to who we are, and then we can make conscious choices instead of unconscious ones. And you are being called to step into your purpose, whatever that may be. And I am a life purpose coach, so I can help you with that. If you need help, just reach out to me. And my information's in the description box. Speak your truth. I believe that it came out right after purpose for a reason. And your throat chakra activation, radiating your authenticity and self-expression, as well as speak your truth, is telling me Spirit's calling you to use your voice for the betterment of the collective. And also your heart chakra is being healed today. So you're getting a heart chakra activation and heart healing, as well as throat chakra activation and throat chakra healing. I'm going to get a few tarots and then we'll be done. I may get some angel messages if I have time. Please show me, Spirit. First one coming out is Ace of Cups. So new beginnings in love, in life in general. And, a lot of new opportunities coming up for you is what I'm getting as well. Especially once you start living your purpose. That's when everything really unfolds for you and activates for you, is when you take that first step. And I have the Knight of Swords. And so the Knight's, well, he looks like he's moving very quickly, and the swords represent our thoughts. And so you may be, having a lot of, like the other card said, abundance downloads right now. And you may be having a lot of thoughts about not sure which path to take, I'm getting. And so maybe this will bring you some clarity. And all of a sudden, whoa, I have tarot flying out all over the place. So we probably won't have time for an angel message. I have the Queen of Pentacles. You are stepping into that energy. And she is very wise and discerning about using her money. She also is very set financially. And so you're stepping into that energy. And you also got the Chariot. So things are moving very rapidly and coming along very fast for you, going towards the Wheel of Fortune, which is total wish fulfillment and everything working out in your favor for the best. And the wheel spins and everyone has an opportunity to win and have it land on them. And it's your time to shine and your time to experience financial abundance and prosperity. And I have the Four of Pentacles, which is your current energy. And he is holding on very tightly to his money and uncertain about his finances. And so you're stepping out of that and you're stepping into the Queen of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and you're moving right along very quickly in your Chariot energy. And then I have the Two of Swords. And twos are all about choices. So you, and swords are about our thoughts. So you're caught up in your thoughts about which direction to take. And so maybe spend some time meditating on that and trying to get more information. Fours are also about structure, foundation, stability, and planning. And so you're in that energy of just trying to build stability and structure around your finances and in which path you're going to take, I'm hearing. And sevens, the Chariot, is all about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding, the Chariot, and the Tower card. And so new opportunities for growth and success are coming in for you. And have courage. Stay strong, have courage, and I hope you liked today's message. And I can't wait to do it again in the next one. I'll see you soon.